It takes me a minute. Let me get my lighting turned up on this here. It's a somber day here today. Hang on. It's a pretty somber day here today. Let's hope this doesn't fall. Hang on a second, folks. Just let me know if you can hear me. And I'm shutting this off and turning this one on. Let me know if you can hear me okay, guys. I am simultaneously streaming on Life with the Wolfies and on our Half Acre Homestead. So please forgive me. If you only think you're seeing 50% of the chat, that's because you're watching me on either or, but I'm simultaneously, okay? How's everybody doing? I have to start this with this. Howie's packing up the coach and coming home. There will be no spectacular this year. They had a fatality at the track today. One of the Super Pro door cars, and this is all I am at liberty to say, one of the Super Pro door cars splintered up on the guardrails, and there was a fatality. So I'm just letting everybody know that, it's a really sobering thing to have happen. And, Howie didn't see it. He was already in his car getting ready to line up for the semi-pro race. And he didn't see it, thank God. But I mean, these are the stakes you play with. Let me see if I can. So, whoops, no, that's not going to work. Ooh. So these are the stakes you play with when you're racing, eh? So let me say hi. I may not catch everybody's name, but I'm going to say Celeste Audicure, Tina LaBelle, Karen Parsons, Leanne Bishop, Aloha Seashell, Angie Mack. I'm not actually popping out any names because I am focusing on two different cameras. I've already saged the air and saged the carts, and I've got my tea, and I'm just going to go behind my fan for a minute while we wait for people to show up. I don't want to so yeah, the race season is closed at Luskville Dragway as far as I know. I am really shaken, Kim. I am quite shaken. I'm just really grateful I wasn't there, because whether or not Howie's in his car behind the coach getting ready to line up, when he's getting ready to line up, I'm sitting up out front, and I would have seen that. And I don't think I would ever have been able to go back if I had seen that. So we don't know what's happening for next year, but right now it's going to have to be closed. You can't hear me? Hang on. Can you hear me now? Let me know if you can hear me now. It's the microphone. It's the holder for that phone. It doesn't work great. So yeah, it's really sobering stuff. And now, of course, let me just you can hear and just got here. Okay. Because if I push that one up on that particular holder, it will cover the microphone. Please excuse me. I'm going to go behind the fan. Can I turn this just a little bit? No, it's not right. Maybe if I do it this way. Maybe if I do it that way. Okay. I'm going to go behind the fan and wait for folks to get here. And then we'll start. Oh, well, thank you. Well, I've gained back a couple of pounds because, I'm a bear and I've been into making homemade bread and stuff. So, yeah, but I'm going to do my absolute level best to maintain my weight loss through the winter. Winter's the hard time for me to maintain a weight loss, let alone lose more, right? So, yeah, our racing. Well, I mean, the whole track is a racing family. Just wanted to let you know we just canned chicken this weekend. I got 34 meals and 12 quarts of broth. Can't wait to enjoy later. Hope everyone is doing well. Wonderful. I'm doing a pantry full meal tonight. Hi, Donna. Odette Bourguignon. Did I do it right? Billy Lemasters. Yeah. There is 4 categories. There is the junior dragsters, the semi-pro door cars, which is Howie's category, the super pro door cars, and then the super pro dragsters. And it was an accident with the super pro door cars. And that's all I can talk about. I can't talk about it anymore. I didn't know those people personally, because you have a tendency to kind of hang out with your class of driver. Well, I already put on my winter weight. Let's hope that's the end of it. I'm starting in my bounding again tomorrow now that the worst of the canning is done. Or the most. I got, just give me a second, folks. Okay. Hey, Sarah. So remember, we'll be including everybody who was at the races today in our prayers, especially the family of the driver who lost his life today. Okay, so I mean, that reminds me of the time we were in California on vacation and we made it to Anaheim and saw on TV the hotel we're in that morning was destroyed. Wow. Yeah, everybody has near misses, right? So give me a second. I'm going to wait for everybody to come in. I'm going to calm myself and have a cup of tea here. I'll probably look at this camera more than this one, only because this one's at my eye level and this one's a little lower, but I will do my best to make sure everybody's my cigarette addiction. I get up and can't breathe. You know what, Malka? I'm an alcoholic, 25 years sober. You will quit when you want to live. Working on my second canner load of chicken right now and have 2 dehydrators going. I have to get. Don't try and quit everything at once, Malka. You're just setting yourself up for failure. One step at a time. I'm 25 years sober, but I'm only 12 or 13 years off of cigarettes. You understand? So, I mean, you can't, baby steps. All right. Hey, caveman. How's it going, Mr. Savage? Hey, Bluegrass. Hey, Cheryl from Long Island. How's it going, sweetheart? So anyway, I've already saged. Did my first ever turkey soup. Wonderful. Yeah, let's pay the bills. If you want to come in to 3 unlisted live streams a week, that means, nobody else sees it but you and me. Okay, unless you share it, and then if patrons know, they don't share anything that we record on unlisted live streams. If they do, then they don't stay patrons very long. So every Monday, sometimes in the evening, sometimes in the late afternoon, it all depends on how busy I am. But every Monday and Wednesday, I get together with my patrons on a live stream for about an hour and we talk about what's coming up. They get the inside track on what's coming up. It's also a more private place where I share more of my real feelings and ideas and things that are going on in the world. We can talk about those things. That's Monday and Wednesday. And every Friday, we do what we call Freaky Friday, which is we piss YouTube off with copywritten music and turn on the disco lights, and we sit here and we lift each other's spirits in song and joy and dance, all for $5 US a month. So I understand. Now, let me say this now that I've paid the bills. I understand that not, and Seashell's going to put the link up for the Patreon. I understand. Oh, well, welcome aboard, Edie Cook. Hi, Ruth Mitchell. I'll say hi as much as I can in a second. So now that I've said that, I want to say in these troublesome times and with financial, all the things that are going on in the world, I don't expect anybody to become a patron. I don't ask anybody to become a patron. Those who support my Patreon, support me on my Patreon channel, do so because they feel it's worth it and they can afford it. I'm not asking anybody to do anything they can't afford, okay? It's $5 US a month or $7 Canadian a month. Damp and Chili in PA made a big pot of New England clam chowder. That sounds wonderful. What price per pound on frozen turkey are people seeing out there? The lowest I've seen is $1.88 a pound. The carrots are done. The video is tomorrow on our half-acre homestead. I'm doing a pantry pull meal tonight. And of course, 9 times out of 10, pantry pull meal it's a crock pot meal because you know what? You can do it on the stovetop if you want. Hey, Natalie. I haven't started looking yet. Hi, Candy. Carla, how are you? So, hey, Meadowview 300. So I'm starting to do pantry pull meals, and I use the crock pot because I would rather, there are going to be, hi, Beth, sorry, and partly sunny. Blessings from Virginia. Hey, or is that Vermont? No, that's Virginia. So most of my cooking meals, like I had somebody on my crock pot chicken and rice meal say, thank you for telling us how to cook or how to cook our food. And I went, why the sarcasm? Because I'm sorry, it's a sarcastic comment. Thanks for showing us how to cook. I got a good price on peppers and onions. Buy one, get one. So we'll be slicing and freezing to stir fry this. Good job. Very grateful to be here. My garden is done for the year. I'm so doing this next year. I know what to plant now. Well, let's talk about that in a minute because I'm already planning my garden for next year. Hey, Freaky Geek, how's it going? Making your wild apple jelly right now. Right now, remember, if it doesn't set, folks, if you're making apple jelly and it doesn't set, that's because you didn't cook it long enough. That's all. And remember, do not cook more than 6 cups of sugar and 6 cups of jelly juice. No more than that at any one time, or it won't get to the proper temperature to set properly, and you'll be cooking it forever, and it'll come out like molasses. Okay? Appreciate your cooking videos. I've made some of your recipes. Wonderful. But I said, why the sarcasm? There's a lot of people here that are just getting into this kind of cooking and food preservation, right? Okay, the audio's fine. I just made 6 Christmas cakes and I'm starting my shortbread and other goodies, some for charity. paying it forward. Well, I like to, we all know I'm going to be a grandmother in December. Tweedlet, tweedlet, tweedledee. I'm as happy as can be. And so that's going to be happening around Christmas, probably. She's due on December 19th. And so we'll be down. I'm not doing anything huge here this year because I'm going to be on call. Because they say, Mom, Mel's in labor. Okay, truck's full of gas, and it will stay full of gas from the middle of November to the rest of the year until that baby is born. Right? If you're getting any sarcasm from me, sorry, it's more for no, not from you, freaky geek. It was somebody, some unknown person who doesn't even put a name or a cute name. That's just ABCD Dick, kind of thing. Hey, yellow bird. I just learned. Oh my goodness, I just learned to can by watching your videos in the last couple of weeks. Thank you. Over 150 jars completed. Good job. Stay away from Rebel canning. The closest I come to Rebel canning is canning celery. It's just one of those things that every once in a while someone goes, oh, thanks. It's like, whatever, grow up sort of thing, right? Hi, Wanda. How are you? So hang on, where was I going with this? Crock-pot cooking. And so most of my dinners are crock-pot dinners, right? But I'm going to continue along the lines of when you've prepped your God, I had such a hard time saying that. When you prep your pantry properly, nutritious, delicious, and economical meals are always at your fingertips. Hey, Juliana, how's it going, darling? Oh no, that's a lot. Most of my cooking this one. Now there is going to be regular cooking videos for the simple reason, and I'm sorry if I can't keep up with all the comments, guys. If there's any really important questions, I hope you guys will repeat yourself or draw my attention to them. So many P words in a row. I can see how one gets tongue-tied. I know, right? So, well, thank you, Gigi Deb. I love you know what, Angela? I love my crock pot meals too, right? So we're getting a side of beef, right? I've been paying it $200 a month for the last 4 months. And he won't take the last payment until we go to pick it up. So I still have one more payment on it when we go to pick it up. But we're getting a side of beef in December. And, oh, God, please don't let them coincide with my grandbaby being born. I love my gas stove, but I'm looking for alternatives to keep our gas bill down. Well, yeah, thank you. Thank you for, our politicians and our world powers for creating a crisis where there really is none. That's all I'm going to say on gas prices and natural gas, and everything is going up in Canada. Everything has gone up between 5 and 15%. Everything. So it's not like, oh, everything's up 10%. It's every single thing you buy has gone up 15%, which lifts your groceries into costing double and stuff like that, right? Hey, Bell Prepper. I do not Rebel can. I did once and was so nervous eating it. I felt better opening a jar. Well, somebody asked me today. Sorry, I have something like in my bra. Somebody asked me today, where was my recanning the taco cheese sauce? Oh, that's good. You'll love it, Tina. You'll love it. And yes, in the future, I've had several people tell me to rinse my rice. I'm going to do so in the future. Okay, just saying. Soups and casseroles, I know, but we are getting a side of beef, and I'm getting suet, and you know what that means? Suet pudding recipes. Hopefully, there's somebody in Audrey's Aunt Audrey's recipe box because that's old school stuff. And I'm getting suet because a lot of the recipes I saw called for suet and it's not easy to find. But you can always replace suet with frozen grated lard. It's not that big a deal. Hey, Paula, how's it going? Wow, you're on both channels. Um, Hi, Linda from West Kentucky. So I am going to do a couple of roast beef dinners. I want to show you some of the tricks I use for cooking with my canned potatoes and my canned carrots and that kind of thing. It's not all going to be crock pot meals. There's going to be some roasting meals and there's going to be, but every single one of these meals from here on out is going to be making it stretch. Now, next weekend, hey, bell prepper. Oh, and when I get my side of beef, I have the option. I have the option for soup bones too. So you know I'm going to be getting that. I just have to look at this comment here. From the far northern western part of Alberta, Canada, I just finished canning 50 pounds of beets, 50 pounds of dry canned potatoes. I would not dry can potatoes. I just would not do that. It's not recommended. We'll be canning 50 pounds of dry canned carrots soon. I'm not saying don't do it. I'm just saying it is not recommended. Now, no, they don't recommend you canning celery because it's never been done. Nobody ever canned celery because A, it was a summer vegetable, and B, it was actually a fairly exotic summer vegetable. So it's not in the pioneer stock of canning stuff. So that's why they say, oh, it's never been done. It's a vegetable, okay? But dry canning is not What is dry canning? Dry canning is when I say, for instance, can hamburger. You do not can raw hamburger. You do not raw pack hamburger or any ground meat. You cook it first and then you put it in the jar and you can put broth in it, but you don't put any broth in it. Okay. You just put the cooked meat in the jar and you pressure can that. That's called dry canning, but it is not recommended for raw vegetables. And if you do it with cooked vegetables, you'll get mush. But I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying it's not recommended, right? Have you ever canned a big turkey? Just cleaned out my freezer. Oh, honey, running shoes. Go on to our half-acre homestead, and below the banner in the line where it says, community, about, next to the about, there'll be, if you scroll over, you'll see a little magnifying glass. Put in canning frozen turkey. I do have a video on that. Hi, JB. How's it going? 46 watching, only 21. Oh, thank you. Hey, Kingdom Artist, how's it going? Currently pressure canning chicken and making French apple cake. I think I'm going to make apple cinnamon bread pudding. Can you make hamburger and then can them that way in burger form? If they're cooked, I don't see why not. I would put parchment between the patties and I would not make them thick. I would make them no thicker than that, and do not put any grain or bread products in those patties. See, this is where things get vague, right? But you can, if there is no breadcrumbs or anything like that in there, you make them thin, you cook them, and and that's the thing, right? And then you put parchment in between them so that they have even cooking surface. Hey, Vicky, how are you, darling? Thank you. I like my ears too. I've put burger patties in the freezer myself and they last a while that way. Well, I mean, you could, there are different ways of doing things, right? Like I'm spreading myself across freezing, dehydrating, and canning. I don't want to put all my eggs in one basket. What if a freezer dies, right? What if there's an earthquake and half my canning jars break, right? Well, I only plant what we eat. That's the thing. I only plant what we eat. Wow, Freaky Geek, you're on both. Got lots of people on both channels here. So I have I have cooked them using a large lid for size, no grain, and then add a little onion and broth. They are good for my wife who needs softer meals due to leukemia. Oh my God, Candy. We will remember her in our prayers at the end, right? Not everybody stays to pray, and that's okay. You don't have electricity. Oh wow. Well, there you go. So your freezer's not an option, right? But I think meatballs is a better alternative. Meatballs is a better alternative, and I'll tell you what. I use some of my spaghetti ground spaghetti squash in spaghetti sauce and added extra tomato powder, and it turned that thin store-bought jar Catelli sauce into something really thick and luscious. Really good grab on that. As a matter of fact, I made a spaghetti squash and I did not like the texture. It was too runny, so I'm not even going to grow them next year. Let's talk about next year's garden. Mine isn't even done yet. I was commenting on what I heard about on two other channels. Oh, if you're not used to having electricity and you live without it and you manage, good for you. Good for you. I can see why you're canning everything. Trying to quit cigs too. I'm snacking on sunflower seeds as we speak. There you go. Getting veggies on clearance, $2 for 10 pounds each bag. Where was this? I froze fresh corn this week. I'm not doing corn this year. Yeah, it's getting cold. Like I went out into the porch this morning to put Gracie out, and the porch was cold. Oh, my new door arrived. So Howie's going to be doing life. How does it? We've got the front door with the broken window and a piece of cardboard in it, and we've got my kitchen door where if you look at it and where the tongue comes out, it's wood frame with metal cladding, and I slammed the door and it went like that. So it broke the door. I broke the door. Sometimes we have it's almost like an airlock in the porch. It's actually hard to get the door to shut. So we found another door for $100. Yes, he'll be doing more videos now that that race season's over. I stocked up on chicken breasts, $1.89 a pound. Wow, that's really good. Hey, LG, getting veggies. Brookshires here in East Texas. Okay, that's in East Texas. Yeah. If you're shouting out where you're getting deals, please put where you live and the name of the store so that everybody can, if they have one of those in their neighborhood, they can go and check out the sales, right? Not had it for at least 6 years. When the sun's up, I'm up. I do have oil lamps for light at night, but if it's not in a jar or cannot sit on my cabinet, I don't use it. There you go. Good for you. Good for you. I know we could live without it, but we'd have to put another wood stove in the basement because it's all on baseboard heat down there. We're going to be probably replacing our hot water heater soon. I've had it for 2 years. Brand new one's still in the box, but mine's still working. So we're just going to let it work, right? Next year's garden, I've decided that Hey, Ninja. I know this one's trying to hard to charge as well. Wait, am I on? Is this on our half acre homestead? Can somebody verify that I'm not streaming both from the same channel? I'll be harvesting, whoops, my popcorn and celery tomorrow. I'll dehydrate the celery and then I'll pull all my beets. I still have beets, but the beets were planted at the end of July. So first week of August. So I don't know, but they've got some nice leaves on them. Okay, thank you, Seashell. So the only thing left now in the garden for me to harvest is whatever peppers I get. I've already pulled my onions. I'm doing a video on storing my garden onions. And all I've got left is the rutabaga and the parsnips and apples. I forgot to mention that. I'm going to get some deer apples Thank you. I'm going to get some deer apples and I'm going to can about 4 quarts of apples in simple syrup and the rest I'll dehydrate. And fruitcakes are coming. But next year I'm planting carrots because the carrots did come into our neighborhood, but it was too near a miss for my liking. So I'm actually planting carrots next year. And so there's the 2 beds that were in spaghetti squash are probably going to be dedicated to carrots. I'm only going to plant 1 bed of celery because I don't need 2. Um, okay, good. Thank you, Freaky Geek. Um, so things are changing around. I'm not going to plant those mini peppers next year. So I'm going to put more into root vegetables except for carrots, or except for potatoes, although I might try and do some in bags on the deck. I think, yes, beef and chicken. I think that my proximity to the woods, for some reason, is why my potatoes got so badly attacked. But I don't know. And I found out today or this week not to plant your cabbages and tomatoes next to each other. They're not happy that way. Can you do anything with beet leaves? Absolutely. You could dehydrate them or blanch them and freeze them like spinach. Beet greens are like Swiss chard, right? Spinach or Swiss chard, absolutely. I want to see a farmer actually try growing a bed like somebody. Well, I mean, next year I'm really hoping to get 2 loads of fill. I'm going to actually advertise soon. I want 2 loads of fill for the back, and then a load of topsoil, and then a load of garden soil. And I'm going to be putting in 3 more fruit trees. And I'm going to make a cane break between the garden that is now and the new garden. So it's going to be because we have that whole parkland up front where we can park the coach and enjoy, the fire pit and company and stuff. There's absolutely no need for me not to be able to double my garden space, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to double it next year. Beets are really good. I like them steamed with some lemon juice, olive. Oh, ew. Just boil them in their skins, and then peel them out. Cut them out. Take them out. Cut the tops off. Peel them on your plate. Slice them and butter them. Salt and pepper. I love fresh beets. So I hope I get a feed of that. Beets might get in the ground this week. Well, where do you live, Paula? Because it all depends on where you live. Like if you live in like Georgia or even North Carolina, you could probably get a feed of beets in. Like anywhere from North Carolina south. Oh yeah, East Texas, go ahead. Go ahead. Try it. I mean, don't waste your seeds, but do a small experimental bed and see what happens. Like I've been told that I can leave my parsnips in the ground over winter, and it makes them really sweet for spring eating. Well, pretty sure we're going to need them for winter. So, but I am not picking the rutabagas, turnips, Swedes, whatever you want to call them. I'm not picking them until after the first killing frost. And when I say killing frost, it means when all your tomato plants everything just died. Then they will have gotten their sweetening and I will be able to bring them in and can them. And then I'm going to do apples. But next year, I'm going to plant only Manitoba tomatoes. Have a section in your garden just for testing what will grow and how. See, that's hard to do too, though, sometimes, because last year I got a watermelon. And these were late season watermelons. I still got one. It was pale, but it was delicious. But this year, my watermelons kind of came up and went bleh, and died. That was a wasted bed. So do I plant watermelons next year? I don't know. But I am going to double my zucchini beds. I mean, Joe Mama was saying to me, Bev, you're going to have, because I had two zucchini beds and two totes of zucchinis. And she said, you're going to have more zucchinis than you know what to do with. No, I don't. A farmer here in eastern Ontario dug up parsnips in the spring. He had them under a bed of pine needles and leaves. I've never tasted one before. They're kind of like a cross between a turnip and a potato. Yeah. They're not like carrot texture. They look like a carrot, but they're not carrot texture. And they're not really a potato texture or a turnip texture. They're somewhere in between. Um, but yeah, you can overwinter them. You don't even that's called a clutch. If make a pit that you could isn't going to get covered in snow, or you want to keep some root vegetables till spring, you dig down a hole in the ground, like 2 or 3 feet, and you put straw on the bottom. You put your vegetables, you put straw on top, and you bury it and cover it in snow. And in the spring, you dig it up. That's called a clutch. So parsnips, the best parsnips are ones that have had a frost, and you peel them. You'll have to know your frost line for that, right? Not necessarily, because I was told I could leave them right in the bed in the ground over winter, and they will be wonderful in the spring. Think about it this way. Have you ever forgotten onions missed some onions in the garden and come back next year and they were growing, or leeks? It's overwintering, right? So as far as your frost line, now that's a difference between a root cellar and a clutch. A clutch is something where you dig a pit, you put straw in, you put your vegetables in, you put straw in. You can put a cover over it, like a tarp or a piece of plywood, and have that like a little root cellar all winter, right? But you do want that a couple of feet deep. So, I mean, because there's a certain amount of protection in the ground itself. That's right. And parsnips are one of those things. Howie's not overly fond of parsnips. Okay, hurry back, honey. Howie's not overly fond of parsnips, but I love nothing more than boiled and strained and whipped with butter and salt and pepper. It's like creamy mashed potatoes on steroids, almost, without any graininess. It's really good. Really good, with a boost of flavor. I love parsnips. I hated them as I was growing up because my dad, mom died when I was 9, dad had to learn how to cook. Dad was given a pressure cooker for Christmas one year, and he learned how to cook in it. And he would make the stew or soup, right? Either with hamburger or stew meat or whatever. And he'd put in parsnips, onions, carrots, and potatoes. And the problem was everything tasted like parsnips. And I was not fond. So I had a boyfriend who took me to visit his Debbie's Cooking. Is this a new channel? No, our Half Acre Homes, or Life with the Wolfies, has been around for a couple of years. It's my channel that is gotten really nothing to do with homesteading, and more to do with the projects we do around the house, how does it, racing, and things, how we're handling life as we go into retirement age. I will be getting old age pension in 9 years. No, 8 years, 2 months, somewhere around there. Isn't that scary? Hey, Monique. So, but I had a boyfriend once who took me to visit his grandparents for dinner, and they were British. I mean, she protected 4 children in London, like in England, during the Blitz. Okay, this was a British woman, right? And and she said, oh, she put on a big spread: roast beef, Boston brown potatoes, mashed potatoes, Yorkshire pudding, gravy, roasted vegetables, and whipped parsnips. I know I don't have to make soap for a while yet. I don't have to make, although I may make some this year just for have to have a good laundry bar. So she told us what was for supper, and I went, oh, I said, oh, it sounds lovely, except the parsnips. I'm not fond of parsnips. She said, you'll try mine. You'll try mine. I guarantee you'll like mine. It's like, you're not going to argue, with the Battle of Britain. Hear me? So God rest your soul, Grandmother Brown. So she cooked these parsnips and whipped them with butter and salt and pepper. And that's all I wanted to eat. It was so creamy and delicious. It was wonderful. Yeah, that's a feast. That's like a Sunday dinner. When I was a kid, my mom, almost every Sunday, mom made a special supper. Like made a Sunday dinner. Because back in the old days, unless you were a farmer and raised your own, people couldn't afford to eat meat every day. When my parents were growing up, they couldn't afford to eat meat every day. Because my parents were born in the 1920s and they were children during the Great Depression. So it was a mark of how well my father was doing to provide for his family that mom had a turkey at Thanksgiving, a turkey at Christmas, and roast beef and Yorkshire pudding every Sunday. We may have, or a whole chicken on Sunday. We didn't get those very often. Right? I mean, we may have eaten potato soup and meatloaf and all that the rest of the week. But, it was Sunday dinner and it was at 1 p.m. So that was my family. You know what I mean? So I'm going to do a few of those meals. You've seen me do a few of those meals. But see, we were supposed to go to the racetrack next weekend for the Spooktacular, which is next weekend is Canadian Thanksgiving, harvest supper, right? Oh, I love potato soup too. I'm going to be making cheese, broccoli, potato soup. I'm going to make a whole bunch of soups this year. I'm going to be working out of my pantry and freezer, showing you guys just what to do with all this stuff I've taught you how, or you've learned how to can, and you've learned how to dehydrate. I no longer can or dehydrate anything I don't use, just like growing in my garden. So anyway, what else was I going to say? So next weekend is Thanksgiving, and I don't have a turkey because it was a potluck supper. And I was to bring the pies, or 3 pies. But don't I have canned turkey in the cupboard? And I'm going to show you exactly how to make a Thanksgiving dinner with what you got in your pantry, because I'm going to have to. I ain't paying no $1.88 a pound for a friggin' turkey, and that's the cheapest I've seen them. If they went down to $1.29 a pound, I might buy one. But we have that side of beef coming, and I'm opting for suet and for soup bones, for bone broth and soups and stuff. So, I mean, this is what's to look forward to now that fall is here. There's going to be our Life with the Wolfies is going to get me going through the recipe box and picking a recipe. To put in the book that I'm going to make. It may take me 3 years. Ann Audrey's recipe box, Bygone Cooking, right? And so Life with the Wolfies, you guys are gonna, I'll probably do things live too, but we're going to be going through the recipe box and picking recipes that we want to bake this winter and that we want to try out for the cookbook. And our Half Acre Homestead is going to get the baking of those things. So you guys are both going to get included in the when it comes to, recipes and stuff. And thank you for the patience for those folks who are members of my Reading with Beverly Wolfe channel. where I've got all the Little House on the Prairie books recorded and a couple of other books, and I'm almost done the Anne of Green Gables series. So, and yes, there will be live. Oh, soon too in November. Let's talk about October, November here. October is here, and I'm almost done canning. Right? So what's coming up now is because the pool is closed, the fans have stopped running, and I don't have all my windows open with four-wheelers running up and down the road making noise. I will be reading again. I will be doing a couple of live readings of something or other just before Christmas, like I usually do. I'll probably do a couple of Christmas stories live. And speaking of Christmas or the holidays or whatever you want to call it, some people it's Kwanzaa, some people it's Hanukkah, some people it's Yule, for all those, the holiday season, the December holiday season, for all of those who want to be in the greeting card exchange. Get your stuff to me soon. Email me at, and Seashell is going to give you the email address. Email me at connectedheartsfamily@gmail.com. Put in the subject line, please enter me in the greeting card exchange, or just put greeting card exchange. Now, this is a commitment on your part, so don't ask if you're not going to commit. Because in the letter, you're going to tell me your name and your address, your mailing address. And if you don't want 5 random people getting your mailing address to send you a Christmas card, somebody you don't know, don't commit to this. This is a greeting card exchange. Excuse me, I dropped something. This is a greeting card exchange and a packet of seeds. Don't put beans or anything big in it. This is our 3rd year of the greeting card exchange, and I was doing it through Facebook. If it went through, I don't answer those emails back. I just put them in a file. You'll hear from me November 1st. And if you haven't heard from me in the first week of November, email me again. Okay? So what we're doing is it's kind of like a chainmail, right? I'll have a list of names and addresses. Say I'm at the top, just because I'm starting it. I'm at the top and I have a list of names and mailing addresses. And the next 5 down the list, I will send a Christmas card to and a packet of seeds. Make sure the seeds, and I will do my best to send seeds that will grow in your region because I'll have your address. So, I won't be sending any, large watermelon seeds to somebody in Tuktoyaktuk, you know what I mean? So you'll know by the address. So I'm going to get the first 5 addresses, and I'm going to go by your address, and I'm going to put a packet of seeds in your Christmas card. Merry Christmas. The next person below me is going to get 5 names and addresses, and they are going to put a packet of seeds in. So you're going to get anywhere between 5 and 10 greeting cards with seeds in them. All right? But doing it through Facebook, I'd get people who go, yeah, put me on the list. And then they'd end up getting their name, right? They'd give out their address to the 5 people who requested it. And occasionally they would just not bother sending the ones out on their list. And so if you're emailing me and you're sending me your address, it's because you're committed to being a part of the exchange, right? So I need all the names and email addresses by November 1st so that I can compile the list and send it to y'all through email. Okay? So that by November, then you have the first week of November to the end of November to mail out your Christmas card. But if somebody's from New Zealand, you may not want to participate. It's going to take 8 weeks, or Australia. Like my nephew's family lives in, my nephew and his family live in Australia, and it takes 8 weeks 6 to 8 weeks for a letter to get there. They're getting their Christmas cards being mailed out tomorrow. You know what I mean? Onion jam. That just sounds so oxymoronic, Deborah C. That it does. It sounds so different. So, if you've mailed, so whenever I get an email that says greeting card exchange in the subject line, I don't even read it. I just put it into a folder and then I will deal with it on the 1st of November. Right? So that's what's going on. Sounds neat, but I'm a chicken. What sounds neat? What are you a chicken of? So, I mean, we are a community, aren't we? We're a community. And this is a community thing, right? It isn't just sending each other seeds. There's a lot of people out there. There's a lot of folks who has no contact with their family. Well, that's a whole part of giving out your name, Freaky Geek. Your name and your address, it's important because it's a matter of trust, isn't it? So if you're a chicken, that's okay. You don't have to do it. Right? You're starting your canning season today. Mine's almost done. Wait till you see 3 days of carrots. I'm not kidding. So, I mean, that's what's going on. And Life with the Wolfies. Sometime in November, we're going to take our tea and we're going to build our advent calendar, our tea bag advent calendar for December. And then every day on Life with the Wolfies, I do a live stream and we drink the tea of the day and we talk and we share. This is all about being there for each other because the pandemic tore a lot of families apart and friendships apart. And this is about healing. This is about healing because we were divided from so many of our traditions over this pandemic because of shutdowns and lockdowns and all this crap. Every time there was a holiday, they locked us down. Thank you, Cindy's home. Cindy's home. So this is, we're moving into past the harvest. So soon there's going to be baking videos. I'm going to be doing up a cookie, fruitcake, jam, and tea box to take down to family when we go to Peterborough in December for when our grandbaby's born. Whether it gets there after or before Christmas, I don't think it really matters, right? So I'll be doing that on video. You're not going to get just a snowball video, shortbread video, fruitcake video. I'm going to video making all of those things. And then I'm going to make it all into one video showing how the box goes together, right? Because these are the kind of homemade gifts from the heart that are the best, right? Well, thank you, Kingdom Artists. With apple when you make the pie. Ooh. Well, I mean, I get a lot of people saying, well, look at her, thinks that she knows how to tell us about home economics. No, I'm just sharing how I do things. And if it helps somebody save some money or stock their pantry, then I'm happy. Tweedlet, tweedlet, tweedlet. I'm happy with that. I'm really, really happy with that. I've been on YouTube now for 13 years. And there's some of you folks have been with me almost that long. Some of you have been with me since 2010, 11, 12. Tell me we're not a family or a community, right? So the way I see it, when somebody asked about the Frugal Fridays, it changed to the economics. It's close to the same thing. Well, that's the thing. Somebody asked, what happened to, I've learned so much from you. Well, thank you, Monique. The thing is the Frugal Fridays There's only so many tips that you can share. And now tips are being shared in everyday videos because we're canning. We're stocking the pantry. We're shopping local on, in season. All of these things are tips. So there's no more need for us to sit down and do all these tips because there's only so many to go around. But now let's start living those tips, right? I learned to buy meat in bulk and cut it up and portion and vacuum seal it for the freezer. Well, thank you. Hey, Rhonda, how are you, darling? Uh, so, and you're going to see, one of my videos where I seasoned and rolled up these little thin little steaks. I'm using one of them. I thought I was grabbing stew beef. It was steak, real thin steak. So that's what's in the stew tonight, right? You're welcome, darling. Squeeze that quarter and make it fart an extra nickel. In this case, we got to squeeze the toonie or the loony and make it fart a quarter. But in that, no matter how you do it, a penny saved is a penny earned. And I never understood that. How do you save and earn at the same time? Oh, if you don't spend it and you've saved it, you didn't have to earn it. You earned it by saving it, right? So yes, we're going to be making a lot of make it stretch videos. I'm going to be cooking from the pantry. There's going to be some traditional meals, but maybe done in a new way, like my Thanksgiving turkey. And I have a few, I know exactly what you mean about the occasional person that thinks you know it all. Oops, wait a minute, what did I miss? I missed that. A penny saved is a penny earned is much like saying one is none and two is one. Well, I mean, it used to drive me nuts. I forget what the saying was now. I can't think of it. Oh, hi, Audrey. How's it going? So I'm just gonna be sharing how I do things from my pantry and my freezer, right? Like my Thanksgiving turkey. And there were people who we were talking in another live stream how different actually Canadian Thanksgiving and American Thanksgiving is, because they're based on two totally different things, right? I'm glad to see you too. Just leave the video and scroll on. Okay. The next live stream will be on Thursday, probably Thursday evening at 8:30. The only time I can actually do them is either at 5 o'clock or like 8:30, 9 o'clock. So you guys let me know, because 5 o'clock. Oh, and come November 1st, our clocks go back an hour. So we'll be gone from Eastern Daylight Time to Eastern Daylight Savings Time. I told a friend the squeeze a quarter thing. We laughed till we had tears in our eyes. Well, that's the whole point, right? You either laugh or cry. It's all up to you on how you handle what life throws at you. But our Thanksgiving is more based on the traditional British harvest home supper. When the harvest is in, they have a party and everybody drinks ale and cider and there's some traditions that go along with that I've never done that I'm going to include, just to give you guys an idea of why we don't wear pilgrim hats. And the only thing similar between our Thanksgiving and and the American Thanksgiving is A, it's a harvest celebration. B, turkey and pumpkin pie. And C, gratitude, right? But there are different things. Like we don't do, like I said, the parched corn and the pilgrim hats and all that. Either time, it really doesn't matter to me since I'm on Pacific time. Okay. So that's kind of what's going on. That's what's coming up. That's what's going on. Okay. There's going to be, I may not make a turkey for Christmas this year. I might make a roast beef because when I make those cuts, I get a cut sheet for that side of beef and I might get a 3-rib roast. You know what I mean? I might get I'm going to get a few roasts of beef. There's going to be a lot of hamburger, no doubt. But I'm going to get suet, bones, hamburger, a couple of steaks, stew meat, and a couple of roasts. And that's what I'm going to be cooking on, and that in my pantry this winter. All right? Thank you for lifting me up. I was pretty shaky when I first got here after Howie called me. Where do you email to be a part, and where are the people from Canada and the people? Most of the people in the greeting card exchange will be from US, Canada, or say, I don't know, anybody, depends on where you're from. But most of them will be US and Canada. Okay. I've already bought 2 rolls of stamps. So I have, and I've used some, so I have about 180 stamps because anybody in the US is going to have to have 2 stamps on it from here. Right. So the way prices are going up, I may need to start saving for a prime rib roast. That's a good idea. I've been shopping at Costco, and every time I go, I buy day-old roasted chicken and freeze them. You know what? I may go to Costco. I may go back to Costco. And here's what I'm thinking, okay? And if you see it on a video, somebody stole the idea. Well, okay, maybe I am. I don't know. Maybe I'm not the first. Hi, Joan Bogart. How's it going? You just put your second order in for 4 jars. You're welcome, darling. Absolutely. And thank you, because when you get 10% off, I also get 10% commission. So I make a little bit of extra money. And no, I don't do 4 jars for the money because it ain't, a lot. But I do it because I believe in those lids. There you go. So, crap, what was I going to say? I just totally lost it. Just totally lost. The chickens, right. I think I'm going to go to Costco one more time if we can, especially since we're going to be in Peterborough, right? At the end of the month. Or I may go the week before we go to Peterborough. Because we're going down to Peterborough to spend a weekend with the kids. They're in New Brunswick for a week visiting with Arthur's bio dad and his wife and family. Lovely, lovely people. And so if I do hit Costco before, if I do hit Costco again on a Saturday morning or Saturday afternoon, and I see all them Costco chickens, this is an idea. I'm going to buy about 6 of them. And then I'm going to bring them home. Now, don't put a warm chicken in the fridge. Do you understand that, folks? It creates a bacterial storm. Let the chickens cool down. Open them, let them cool down on the counter, and then put them in your fridge if you want to, parts them up the next day. But don't put them in the fridge warm, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get 5, as many as I can get, 5, 6. I'm not going to take them all, of course. I'm not that kind of person. And then I'm going to spatchcock them. I'm going to cut the backbones out of them, throw them all in a crock pot for soup. And then I'm going to lay them out, flatten them, and I will put a half a chicken, I will flatten them out and cut them down the center, and I will take a half a chicken and vacuum seal it. That'll give me like 10 suppers because you got the breast, the leg and the back attached, and the wing. That's 2 people. Easy. A half a chicken's good for 2 people. So that's what I'm going to do. If I can get myself, thank you, Linda. That's what I'm going to do if I can get myself, hey, shoestring, some more, because $7.99 is ridiculously a good price. I've heard they do lose money on those chickens, but they get people in the store for those chickens. Because you go to the IGA here in Chelsea, a chicken's like $12.99. $14.99 for a rotisserie chicken. So if you're getting me in the store to buy them chickens, I will. And then I'll, see if there's anything else I need. Whose birthday? Whose birthday? I was just watching since I was in college, learning how to make pie crust. Awesome. When's your birthday, Deborah C? I love listening to you talk. It's something even if it's something I already know. Well, thank you. Oh, well, there you go. Right? So that's, if I get to Costco again before winter, I will do a video on showing you how I will buy them chickens, because you can't buy a chicken for under $11 right now. Minimum. I went to I saw somebody walking with a bag with 2 chickens in it. I thought, oh, I'll go check. $30-some. No way. Now listen, folks, it's coming on time for our prayer, and not everybody likes to stay. And if you don't stay, there's no judgment on our part. Everybody has the right to, connect with the universe in their own way, or their faith in their own way. But here is where I connect with my faith. You connect with yours. Oops. I didn't feel comfortable doing cards today. I really didn't. I did them. I put them out, but I just didn't encourage it because I didn't feel comfortable today considering what was going on, and I thought it might cloud how I was reading things. So it's just one of those things. So now you connect to your faith. I'll connect to mine. And this is where we drop the walls that religion puts between us. Where did my elastic go? I'll get another one. And we come together in love and light. That's it. Right? If anything I say in my prayer doesn't suit you, then just feel free to ignore that and replace it with whatever works for you. This is all about sharing love, light, and energy. Okay? Well, there you go. That's what I'm going to do. That's what I'm planning on doing. And if I do it, I might make it. I'll darn well do a video about it. Okay? Because having a half of a cooked chicken in the freezer, oh, come on. Pop that in the crock pot on top of some carrots and potato, canned carrots and potatoes, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. I have a lovely supper at the end of the day because everything's pre-cooked, right? All right. For all those who care to, now that we've given everybody who does not want to stay time to leave, let's take some deep cleansing breaths, and we'll connect to our individual faith, and we'll go from there. All right? Excuse me. Pumpkin spice soap. Well, that's the thing too. If you can fit, the thing is you would be double cooking that chicken though, if you put it in a canner, right? So I would be doing these for the freezer, right? So deep breaths. Inhale light. Exhale negativity. Inhale love. Exhale fear and doubt. Inhale joy and gratitude. Exhale worry. Hey, God, one source and creator of all. How's it going? God, there was a terrible tragedy today at the Luskville Dragway, and we lift the entire family, racing family, up to you for comfort and solace. And we especially lift up the family of The fatality and the crash today. Um, only you, God, can give the comfort and peace and strength, the family, and everybody who saw that strength to get through these coming days and weeks and months and years. So there's a lot of sick people out there, God, ill people, frightened people, alone people, people who are addicted and neglected or shut out by society or their family. God, we lift all those people up to you, because if any love can penetrate the gloom of around their hearts, God, it's you. So we lift all those people up to you. And God, I just want to lift up our friends and our family here on YouTube. May we always be able to come together and share knowledge and joy and peace and our troubles and all of those things that keep families coming back together. God, may we all go forward in the light of your love today. May it part the darkness as we go forward into the season of harvest and thanksgiving. Amen. Shalom. Namaste. Peace be with you. Merry meet, miigwech. Merry part, blessed be. Walk in the shining light of God's love. Whatever language you use to talk to your faith, know that love is the language best received. All right? Take care. God bless. And you're all in my hearts and in my prayers. Happy harvest. Take care. God bless.